Hello and welcome to the Leave Your Legacy Show. I'm your host, Kenyon Murray, and today we're talking about something that is changing the game in real time. And whether you're a parent, athlete, coach, supporter of youth sports, this affects you. Today we're talking about the changing landscape of high school sports and NIL. Now, for those who don't know what NIL stands for, it's name, image, likeness, and its ability for athletes to earn money based on their personal brand. At the college level, NIL has been a major shift, but now we're seeing NIL opportunities start to touch high school athletes too, depending on the state, the rules, and the platforms involved. And what I want to do today is break this down in a real way. No hype, no fear, just truth. Because NIL can be an opportunity, but it also can become pressure. It can become a blessing, but it also can become a trap if you're not prepared. So let's talk about it. Let's start here. High school sports is not what it used to be. It used to be more local, community-based, more about school pride. That still exists, but now there's another layer. Now you've got year-round training, private skill coaches, travel ball, AAU circuits, social media highlight culture, recruiting platforms, rankings, caps, showcases, and now NIL conversations. So what used to be a game has now become a business in many ways. And I'm not saying that it's all bad. There are great things about it. Kids have more exposure, more opportunity, access to more development. But with those accesses comes more pressure. And the biggest shift I'm seeing is this: talent isn't enough anymore. Branding is becoming part of the conversation. And that's where NIL comes in. Let's get clear about what NIL actually means. NIL means a student athlete can potentially get paid for sponsorships, social media promotions, camps, clinics, apparel, autographs, appearances, partnerships with local businesses. Now, again, rules vary state by state. So every family has to understand policies where they live. But the bigger point is this: we are entering an era where high school athletes can become marketable brands before they even become adults. Now, that's a major shift because now a 15-year-old isn't just trying to make varsity. They might be trying to build a following. Now, a 16-year-old isn't just focused on getting better. They might be focused on getting seen. Now, a 17-year-old isn't just thinking about scholarships. They might be thinking about what endorsement deals they might be able to get. And that changes the mindset of not only the athlete, but everybody that's around that athlete. Now, let me speak on the positive side first, because NIL can be absolutely a blessing. For some families, NIL can provide financial support. It can help pay for training, travel, equipment, and development. It can open doors to entrepreneurship. It can teach athletes how to communicate professionally. And it can allow athletes to benefit from their value that they're creating through their sport. Because the truth is, athletes have always generated attention, revenue, and influence. But for years, they weren't allowed to benefit from it directly. So NIL can be a step toward fairness. And I love the idea of a young person learning how to manage money, understand contracts, build a brand, represent themselves with integrity, use influence for good. That's powerful. But here's the key: NIL is only a blessing if it's handled with wisdom. Now let's talk about the other side, because we've got to be real. NIL can also create pressure because now the athlete is not just an athlete. They're a walking business. And if they're not careful, we start putting adult expectations on kids. We start measuring them by followers, likes, clicks, rankings, offers, deals, attention. And that's dangerous because a teenager's identity is still being formed. So if their identity becomes tied to performance and popularity, what happens when they have a bad season? What happens when they get injured? What happens when they stop getting attention? And beyond pressure, there's another risk: exploitation. There are people who will attach themselves to a young athlete for what they can gain. People will promise deals that aren't real. People will offer opportunities that come with a hidden trap. People will push kids to sign things they don't understand. And this is where parents and mentors have to be locked in, because NIL isn't just about money, it's about protection. So what does this new landscape require? It requires a new skill set. Yes, athletes are still, you still have to show work ethic, discipline, strength and conditioning, skill development, coachability, team first mindset. But now they also need financial literacy, brand awareness, media training, social media discipline, contract understanding, emotional maturity, strong guidance, because the truth is the world can pay you before you're ready to handle what comes with being paid. And if you don't have the internal foundation, NIL can expose what's weak. That's why character matters, because talent might get you attention, but character keeps you stable, and consistency keeps you improving. So if I'm speaking to young athletes right now, I'd say this: Don't let NIL become the goal. Let NIL be the byproduct of your growth, discipline, and your integrity. Now let's talk to the parents and the coaches for a second, because this is big. Parents and coaches can't treat this era like the old era. You can't just tell kids focus on the game when the world is pulling them toward all the spotlight. You got to educate them. You've got to help them build boundaries. You've got to teach them how to handle attention and humility. And you've got to remind them that their value is not in their ranking. Their worth is not in their first offer. Their identity is not in their stats. Their future is bigger than one sport. And parents, I'll say this respectively, be careful not to chase NIL through your child, because kids can feel that pressure. They can feel when a family's expectations are tied to money and attention. So our job is to protect their heart, protect their development, protect their mental health, and guide them into adulthood with wisdom. So as I close, here's the message. NIL is a tool. It's not a foundation. It can be used for good. It can open doors. It can create opportunity. But it should never replace the fundamentals: hard work, humility, development, education, family values, character, faith, integrity. Because the athletes who last are the athletes who stay grounded. The athletes who succeed long-term are the athletes who stay disciplined. And the athletes who truly win are the athletes who know who they are beyond the sport. So if you're a high school athlete, listen to this, I'll leave you with this. Build your game, your mind, build your character, your habits, build your future. And let NIL be something you steward, not something that controls you. If this episode has helped you, give us a like, subscribe, and share it with a parent, coach, or athlete who needs it. And as always, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leading with purpose. Until next time, let's keep connecting. The Leave Your Legacy podcast is brought to you by Covenant Workplace Solutions. Covenant is a full-service workplace mental health and wellness partner, helping organizations across the country strengthen the lives of their employees and the families they go home to every day. Your employee assistance program should raise the bar, not simply check the box. And Storyline Multimedia. Storyline is an Iowa City-based media company that creates high-quality video, photo, and audio for local businesses. They produce a number of great podcasts, including this one. If you're interested in sharing your story, please contact them at storylinemultimedia.com. And remember, your story matters.